Hi, I'm Gary and welcome to Jargon Free Help. This week I want to talk to you about speeding up your computer, some apps for checking out traffic and that so you can get around a bit faster, and also what's new on our tutorials. Speaking of the tutorials, I hope you're checking them out. There are loads on there for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, plenty more coming soon, including those for maintaining your PC and your Mac and iTunes, as well as very soon how to podcast, and also some special tutorials especially for the iPhone. They're all coming fairly soon, so keep an eye out there, and I will remind you at the end of every podcast of which ones we have. Now, normally when you think of speeding up your computer, you're probably thinking that you need an IT guy to come and help you out, because they've got to go into configuration files and change things. But there are plenty of things you can do to actually speed things up. For example, if you notice your computer might be taking a long time to start up, just how cluttered is your desktop? This applies to both Windows and Mac machines, so please, if you've got lots of shortcuts on your desktop, you need to declutter, get rid of them. Make sure that if they are files, you've got backups of them. And you're saying, but I need those, I need them close to hand. Well, a good solution to that is to actually make a folder on your desktop, so you just have to open that folder to get to those shortcuts or to those files. You then copy those files into that folder. Then when you need it, you just open that folder, and that can seriously declutter your desktop and speed it up. You've probably also heard about defragmenting, which is also very good for speeding up your computer, but really you only need to do that on machines that have got Windows XP. Basically, defragmenting speeds up your computer by moving all the files into more convenient places for the computer to get at it. Other things you can do to speed up your computer, again, all of these apply to Windows and Mac machines, is to actually remove old files. If you're filling up your hard drive, the more full it is, the slower it will become, because it's actually got to find those files. So get rid of files that you don't need anymore. If you do think that you might need them again, but you haven't actually looked at them for years, just back them up. But remember, make 2 copies before you actually delete it off your computer. If you don't have 2 copies, it's said that you don't have it at all. So that's always a good one to do as well. If you have been working with lots of files and you've had them open for a while, a good thing to do sometimes is just to restart your computer. That will just clear things down and get you started up again completely fresh. So a good old restart always helps. The other thing is, I do notice a lot of people put their computers to sleep rather than shutting down when they've finished. Shut down, it clears the computer down, clears out the memory, does a little bit of housekeeping, and will make your computer run very smoothly as well. Adding memory, or RAM as it's known, is good for speeding up your computer. It's a very cheap, cost-effective way to speed up your computer without having to get a new computer at all. This can sometimes have a very big effect on the speed, and definitely worth trying out. If you're not sure about putting RAM into your computer, there's a lot of IT people that can help you out. Needless to say, man on a bike, Ian Green, he can also help you out there too. If you have a laptop that's running a bit slow and you want to seriously upgrade it, before buying a new one, think about adding some RAM into it. Also, laptops have slower hard drives. You could think about putting in a newer, faster hard drive in there. That will also make a difference to the speed too. The other thing to look out for is what's happening when your computer is starting up. How many little programs is it opening up in the background? This can seriously slow your computer down. Have a look in the bottom right-hand corner in the system tray. This is for Windows, and you will see there that it's got lots of little icons there. By right-clicking on them, you can find out what they are, and you might think, hey, I don't need that open. Generally, they'll have options, and you'll be able to then choose an option not to have it start up when the computer starts. For example, you might have Skype starting up every time, but you don't need to start it up every single time you switch on your computer. There is an option to tell it not to start up when the computer starts, so please check that one out as well. The other thing is, if you've got lots of things open, then why not just close things down that you're not using? Again, that will speed up your computer. I guess if all of this fails, that only leaves you really with one option left, and that's to buy a new computer. And we will be doing a podcast on what to look for when buying a new computer. So what do I have in store for this week's apps? So what apps have I been looking at this week? Well, I've been looking for travel ones, mainly for traffic. And these are specific to the UK, but they are available in other countries. And I have seen one for Sydney traffic cameras if you're in Sydney. So check those out. In the UK, there are things like the Highways Agency, DirectGov, and there's another one called Traffic Info for finding out why there might be traffic jams. It doesn't appear that all the roads are covered. I've been looking for one for the A406 and I haven't found anywhere where it tells me where there's traffic on that, which is one that does affect me quite a lot. These are very useful apps. One that I do think that is disappointing is National Rail's app for finding train information. It's expensive, I think, for an app, and there was someone doing it for free that gave you more information and had better live information. I've actually been at a station and the information it's been telling me on the app is not the same as what I can see on the boards. Get it fixed. This isn't good. National Rail, are you listening? People are paying a lot of money for this. It doesn't even tell you what platform you can go to get your train. I actually think that this is a complete and utter rip-off. And until you fix it, I'm going to keep mentioning it on this podcast so that we get what we paid for. I think it's a terrible application, actually. And I regularly, just instead of looking at your application, go to your website on my iPhone. I think it's that bad. Okay, if I could get my money back on it, I would. I wouldn't recommend anyone buying this. If you fix it, I will recommend it. But hey, you know what? It should be free too. Not $4.99. I think that's quite disgusting, actually. So if anyone's thinking about getting the National Rail one, don't get it until they fix it. Right, so sort that one out. Now that I've had my little rants, what are our new tutorials this week? Well, our new tutorials, of which I'm adding to all the time, include mail merge in Word, styles, and also using tabs in Word, things that I get asked about all the time. So check those out, very useful. I have added some others in there as well this week, so have a look around for them on our tutorials pages. So next week I'm going to be looking at security online, how to deal with spam, and not by using a spam filter either, so that you can actually get around that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next week.